Okay, so when it comes to keeping this thing level, when it's not hooked to a truck or any kind of vehicle, if we get in the back of this thing, it's going to want to wheelie. The tongue weight gets heavier and heavier the more I work on it, and of course in my long-term plan, by lengthening the tongue, obviously that's going to weight the front a lot more. But as we begin to use it here, it'll be shortly, trust me. I will eventually get this thing done. We're going to need some stabilizer jacks in the back. So what I found, I think the best option in terms of simplicity and expense are these little collapsible jack stands. That the way they work is that you bolt them to the frame, these two holes, and they swing up and they stay up out of the way like this as you travel. And then when you go to camp or disconnect and you want to put these down in the rear so your trailer doesn't do a wheelie, you simply pull this out. It'll be like this, of course, and then the legs come down. So my camper is a lot higher than this. These extend to 18 inches. I need a minimum of 21, so I'm gonna have to solve that problem. But I couldn't pass these up. They were like 26 or 27 bucks for the pair. So once they swing down, they also extend. So you can extend them out like that. And then if you get to the ground and you want to put a little more pressure up to stabilize it, this comes with it. You just put this in here and jack it up like that. You can go up as high as it'll go. To, I think 18 inches is where this sucker will go to. Like that. So you can do it by hand too. But if there's weight on it, this will allow you to get some leverage and crank it up. You know, putting pressure up on your trailer, forcing the nose down, and then stabilizing the whole thing. So I'm going to need another 3 or 4 inches till mine even touch the ground. Of course, I could just put some jack pads in there, which would be nice. But I think what I might do is just create some spacers and weld them right on here. So when this thing is all the way collapsed, it'll just be a little longer. You know, I'll weld some square tubing or something and put a plate on the bottom of that, just to lengthen them. So there's 2 of them, and they both look like that. So obviously I'm going to want to be able to cook in there, and I was initially thinking microwave, because nowadays you can pretty much do anything with a microwave. The challenge I was having, microwaves start, the smallest microwave starts like 16 inches wide. Maybe there's some out there, but I couldn't find them. I looked everywhere, eBay, Amazon. I even just Google searched, you know, mini microwave, tiny microwave, and they just kept coming up with these 16 and 17 inch wide microwaves. They're going to take up half of my counter space. The other challenge was it needed to fit under 11 inches. And I did order one other toaster oven that did not fit. I thought it would fit. So my wife got a new toaster oven. She got an upgraded one because I goofed that up. But I did find this one. My first priority is always price. So some of the other toaster ovens are like 30, 40 bucks. This thing I think is over $100. Maybe I'll find a screenshot of it. But it's the only one I could find that fits, that had really high ratings. So I'm going to go stick it in there and see how it looks. Okay, so it fits in there nicely. I will have to figure out a way to secure it so that it does not walk around while we're driving, but there is no way to store it, so it's got to go right there. And it fits in there really nicely. You know, you can pretty much do anything in there. We're not going to really have much frozen food because we're just going to have a cooler. So, you know, we pack some frozen pizzas. They'll thaw out, and then we could cook them in here. And it's got a little light on there. Lights everything up really nicely. So that'll be our kitchen right there, and looks like that's going to work. So one of the challenges we're going to have out there is getting clean, of course. You know, we rode this last Sunday, and I was just kind of thinking how I felt after. I didn't even ride, just walking around. Would I want to get inside a camper that is going to be like our little castle in here, and we want it clean and comfortable? That's the whole idea. So would I want to get in here and slide into some sleeping bags or hang out feeling as dirty as I felt after a day of hanging out on Sunday. I wouldn't. So one of the challenges is going to be showering. Now me and my boy, I think we're up for anything, but I got a 15-year-old daughter, so I want to make sure she feels comfortable enough to shower. So one of the things I found was this little doohickey here hooks to a 2-liter bottle, and you can just fill up some 2-liter bottles with water, throw them in the back of the truck, and at the end of the day they're going to be warm. And you just slide this down in and connect it, and this has an adjustable flow on it, and you grab the bottle and you just get yourself all wet, wash yourself down, rinse yourself off. Of course she's got a lot more hair than I do, but the 2-liter bottle is definitely enough to do a camp shower. I watched some videos with that. So, and then another little doohickey I got was this pocket shower, and these are all cheap, 15 bucks, 10 or 15 bucks. The plastic is probably worth more than. And if you can see there, it's a bag with a nozzle on the end, also adjustable flow. So you fill up that shower bag, and then it heats itself up, and you can hang it, and you can just crack that nozzle and just start showering just like a regular shower. So I'm thinking this would be for my daughter, because I'll get to how she can use that. This will be for me and my kid. We'll stand in the back of the truck and maybe shower in a bathing suit or whatever, and just get clean. As long as we can get in here comfortable, clean, how refreshing we all know that is, all of us who camp. So with my daughter, I'll get this sucker, which holds a lot more water, and then I'll get a collapsible shower, which I could show you a picture here. And then of course I'll go out there with her and make sure she's comfortable and she can shower in it, come in here, and I'll break the shower down and slide it into some storage compartment. So in terms of keeping it simple, I think that's about as simple as we can get for a shower. Alright, well, I got a little bit done, but I got to call it a day at 3:30 because I thought I had this right drill bit to cut the holes for the dowels in the supports that are going to go on the wall, and I don't have the right bit. So by the time I run to Lowe's and back and come back here, that's an hour, and then haul everything in, haul everything back out. So that's it for the day. We'll pick up again tomorrow. So epic fail. All right, we're back at it. Sunday afternoon. Got started about 1 o'clock, and I didn't have a big enough drill bit to make this hole yesterday. And with an hour light left, of course I already said this, but with an hour light left, it didn't make sense to go to Lowe's, come back. I got the bit last night, and then after church today, came home and started working on these bad boys. So these are going to be the very top when I put the bed / shelf system up out of the way. They'll rest in the very top, and then I'll make another hole lower where I can drop it down so my boy can get up in there and sleep and have his little area up there. And then today, once I get this done, if I can get it done today, I'm going to mount the TV inside an area where when he's up in his bed and my girl and I are laying on the floor, we can all watch the TV in the same area. So I'm thinking the TV is going to get mounted to that stud and then held against that wall, but it'll be on a mount that'll pivot out, so we can all be over in that angle, looking up, watching a movie or playing Xbox or whatever. So, all right, let's keep going. All right, so this is basically 1/2 of what I want to do in here. I want to put one more here, so I have 3 poles, and then I can drop it down and make like a table out of it. I can put it about here, make a bed. I can drop half down and make a little table here, and then I could this is a problem here. I didn't anticipate this, of course. I could probably just put it to here and then take it from there and screw it in nice. And I had originally used thicker poles. These are 1 1/4, and I had him do a pull-up on them in Lowe's, but just now he did a pull-up and they kind of flexed a little, and I know there's going to be 3 supporting his weight. I'm trying to think if I should go back to a thicker one, like 1 1/2.
Maybe.
So, but we're getting there. Let's keep working. So one of the things we're going to do in this design is, if we want to keep all this headroom, we're going to take all these things and roll them to the front of this like that, and I'll put a little notch or something there to keep all those dowels there. And then along that top of that trim line there, we're going to put little areas where these dowels can put one about there, if it'll stay. And then one in the middle there, and then if it'll stay, and then one about here, and we'll just put that bed, we'll tuck it in up there when we're not using it, and it can act as a storage shelf for stuff. So we're gonna keep on working, right buddy?
Yeah.
So I thought I got all the boards cut correctly, but what I'm trying to do is make one side prettier than the other, meaning those boards that are going to run vertical, they're either going to have a solid hole or a hole with a slit for the dowel to slide into. Well, I want all the boards on this side that are going to go vertical to just have the holes. It just looks cleaner from this angle. And then the hole with the slit, I want on this side here. So it's just showing the camper and stuff. It's hidden over here on this side. So I'm just trying to be, you know, my picky little self. So I'm not paying attention. I meant to cut the slits in this lower portion because these are going to go on the passenger side of the trailer, if you will. But, you know, I'm humming along here, and I went ahead and cut the driver's side top, which is matching this. Only one side needs a slit. You get it? Because you can shove the pole in the hole and then slide the dowel down in here. So these cuts need to be out of this wood over here. So I wasted 3 pieces of wood. So we're going to redo it. This is going to be his sleeping height. I measured him. I laid him down on the floor and we measured him. And if I build this bed to overhang back to the cabinet, he'll fit in here, up in here, no problem with all this room. And then I can be down here. I'm going to have my feet here. I like to have my head by the door, just so I can see out whenever I feel like it, and address any visitors. So this will be there, and then this up here will be for a shelf storage. You know, we'll put that other dowel up, and then that'll be storage. And then if we feel like it, we can drop this thing down and have like a table here. I think it'll support his weight. I think he weighs 40 something pounds. So I got these drilled right into the studs with heavy duty deck screws going in 3.5 inches. So I don't think we're going to have a problem with that. I have the option of putting a third one here. The only really reason I would do that would be, it would be easier to make a table back there. Well, in that case, I could just do a half of one, which I might do, and then not run it all the way up the side. And then I could just frame the window trim in and tie it in with those 1x5s or whatever those are. I can tie it in with those boards over there. So then I need to build a bed that'll sit up here. That's the next challenge. So I just threw these other boards up here and I put this mat up here to give an idea. You can sleep up there, right?
Yeah.
Gotta figure out a way to get you up there. I think that's enough room for you, don't you think? And then I got all this down here. And if it's Julie and I can put my head at this corner, she can put her head at that corner, and we can just share our footsie smell, huh? Mm-hmm. I think that'll hold you. We're going to use the bigger dowels, I decided. Those other ones flex a little too much for me. And the wider I build the bed, the stronger it'll be, because it'll put the weight load towards the end, meaning less flex. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, it's 5:45, sun's going down. We got all of the supports in for the shelf system. I was Mickey Mousing around with 1 1/4 inch dowels, and then I think these are 1 5/8 thicker. We're going to use the thicker ones. They don't flex when it gets up there. The top height is for storage as we travel. The middle height here is going to be his bed height, and then the bottom, we're going to use that for a table. Probably just the back two. We'll just use half. So I got to make this thing collapsible. So we can collapse it, put it on the bottom level, and use it as a table. You can lean up against that back, and we can play cards, or I can cook these guys dinner or whatever. But we're going to wrap it up for the night. I ended up putting that toaster oven over there. I want to keep this counter open. When we need to use it, we'll use it. And he's having fun with the dowels there. So next I'll frame that bed in, and I'm going to figure out a way to secure it to the dowels, but then also be able to slide the dowels out with the limited space that's in the camper, and then collapse that bed, fold it over to make it half the length. And then it'll hold all of our bedding up high, clean out of the way, and then we can still use the camper, and when it's bedtime we drop it down. So we're getting there. So back to work Monday morning, and we'll be back here next weekend having fun with this thing. See you guys.
I think it's the best way to hold it by the cup, and you see, that's actually a really good floor. Oh yeah, that feels so good. And duration of this shower is actually not too bad. You know, if I soap myself up, and you know, I can definitely wash it off with this little shower easily. This is cool. You know what? Thumbs up for me. Feels good.